Now, Lowcountry Forever, a public affairs presentation of the Charleston Radio Group.
In a way, hard to believe, but it's been more than 2 decades since our nation was attacked on September 11th of 2001. We remember because we must never forget. And we're talking about 9/11 today here on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary, joined by Daniel Caskie. Daniel's the new director of the 9/11 Heroes Run. Daniel, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today on Lowcountry Forever.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be out here.
So we talk about the 9/11 Heroes Run in terms of honoring the heroes on 9/11 and also saluting those who have served our nation since. So this will be a big event coming up. How is it that you became the new race director?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. The Travis Manion Foundation has been a long-standing race here and a staple. This will be the 11th year here in Charleston. And they had a longtime race director, Teresa, and she needed to step away this year. And so a void came. And one of the board of directors is a friend of mine. Her husband was a local first responder. They've since moved back to Ohio. And when the void came up, they reached out to me. But a conversation, unfortunately, didn't happen until about June. So we had the conversation, and I had started a race directing company doing some other events here in Cane Bay where I live. And we connected and got on board June 15th. So
wow.
Been a little bit of a whirlwind, but yeah, it's great to get introduced back to the race.
Anybody who's put on a run, or not even a run, just an event of any scale at all, if you're coming in June 15th and your event is September 17th, that's some compressed time. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about it. This year's 9/11 Heroes Run will be on Saturday, September 17th. What do I, as someone who wants to participate in the run, need to know?
Well, first off, this is more of a celebration than it is a sporting event, but it's beautiful how they come together. So everyone is welcome and can participate, and we'd love to have everyone out there. The way that you can do that, we love runners. Certainly, this is a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, and it is certified by the USA Track and Field. So we could set some state records. It's been done before with the race. So if you want to break some of the state records for a 5K, it's certified. We'll have runners out there. We'll certainly have plenty of walkers. And the ruck division, which is people who put on weight on purpose to go on the adventure. You're going to see our firefighters, our first responders in full kit, full gear. It's amazing to just witness it. The beautiful thing about this event is if you remember that 9/12 feeling, the way you kind of felt as our country came together and your neighbor looked like an American, not like somebody you didn't know. That's the feeling that has. And so we start with an opening ceremony. We'll have the Field of the Fallen out there, which is everyone who died on 9/11 in the terrorist attacks. We have their name on a card, and it'll be there in Simmons Park. And then we have the 9/11 illnesses. We'll have those names out there so you can take that in. We'll have an opening ceremony. The Charleston Honor Guard will be out there to welcome us. We'll have the national anthem, Charleston Pipe and Drum will be there, and we'll have some great speakers. Some Marine veterans will be speaking with us that have taken different roles here in the Lowcountry, and we'll get fired up. We've got some wonderful DJs going to be out there and get us fired up, and then we're going to go racing. Some people will casually spend an hour doing it, and some people are going to do it in 18 minutes.
And you did mention put on weight, so me and the fact that I eat a lot of donuts all the time and I've put on some weight, I can still participate, but obviously that's not the weight you're talking about, because we're going to see some police and fire people, some of that gear that they're putting on, 50, 75, maybe even 100 pounds extra as
Correct.
They take the course?
Yeah, this is not the weight that you'd want to put on purpose, but it happens. Our Go Ruck division is actually a separate unit. For Go Ruck, the weight categories, if you weigh less than 150 pounds, you add 10 pounds of weight. If you weigh more, it's 20 pounds. And then the firefighters, first responders, those guys in full kit, sometimes they'll be over 100 pounds, 75, 100 pounds. And so it's pretty empowering to watch someone like that struggle. There's PC athletes or physically challenged athletes out there who'll come out. We have some disabled veterans who'll come with one limb sometimes. And so it's pretty motivating to see them walk or struggle to walk. A really cool story. One of my friends, Stephanie Shrunk, she lives down the street from me. She has a medical condition, and they told her she wouldn't walk, much less run. And she's been on a course to do 55Ks when she turned 50. And the 9/11 Heroes Run was her first. And so it's a motivating time. She showed up and it motivated her. And she's like, I'm not stopping. So it's really cool stories like that I'm able to really get fired up and hunker down, get this thing ready.
It's really the greatness of the 9/11 Heroes Run, because this could be a somber event. And in a way it is. It's certainly respectful. But this is really a good time, and you walk away from this event just fired up and ready to go.
Absolutely. I like the initials RUN. So we're going to run because some can't. We're going to unite as Americans, and we're going to never forget. And that's what this day will be. It'll be that time. I think as we get further and further away from it, I was at a meeting and spoke with somebody. He was 4 years old when the towers fell. So he has no idea what life was like before then. I was standing next to another young lady. She's a veteran. I say young lady because I feel young. She's a military veteran who responded after 9/11 in tours of duty. She remembers what it was like before, as do I, and what has changed. And so for those who never experienced it, those of us who did, we need to never forget, and we need to make people remember that. I think last thing we want to do is let any of these heroes go unhonored.
We're talking about the 9/11 Heroes Run that's happening here in the Lowcountry for the 11th time. It'll be coming up on Saturday, September the 17th. Daniel Caskie is the 9/11 Heroes Run director, and I'm Brian Cleary. It's what we're talking about today on Lowcountry Forever. Daniel, you mentioned the Travis Manion Foundation. Not everyone who's listening is probably familiar with Travis Manion. Can you tell us a little bit about him and why the race is part of the foundation?
The foundation itself is named after Travis Manion. He was a United States Marine who, after the towers fell, the attacks of 9/11, responded and served. But he did 3 tours of duty, and each time he went back because he felt obligated to. His character was very strong in that. When he was departing for his 3rd departure, somebody said, "Why are you going?" He says, "If not me, then who?" If not me, then who? That has become the song, the heart song of this organization. And so, unfortunately, during his 3rd deployment, while wounded and injured, he was trying to save a fellow soldier, and he was killed himself in battle. And his family took up this chance to honor him in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, with an event, because they just felt proud of what he did, and the community wanted to support that and remember others. And that grew into what's now the 9/11 Heroes Run, that not just Travis we want to honor, but all those who've fallen, who've served, who've responded in the time since. And there's going to be over 90 events this year throughout the country, some bigger races. There's 40 large races, and then some individual events and things like that throughout the country that have morphed into this. The Travis Manion Foundation then has a goal to empower veterans and the families of the fallen heroes to help them develop character into future generations. Since 2007, when Marine Travis Manion was killed, this community of veterans and families of the fallen has come together to invest with others in their community. One of the ways that they do that, kind of the meat and potatoes of things, is a personal development and training program. That's both in person, online, and we connect in various ways. The digital community now makes that an opportunity that they can spread. We're mentoring youth here in the schools. We have a program called Character Matters, actually being taught here in the Lowcountry through the Travis Manion Foundation, so that they can share the experiences, those understandings, and that heart for America and for character with the next generation, who we hope that they never have to experience what we did and watch those images and feel those feelings, because we share them, the character. And so that's the goal. And at the end of the day, we're focusing on improving the mental health and well-being of these veterans and families of the fallen, right? They've been through a lot. Using some innovative and provocative ideas to improve mental health. When we engage with somebody else, that really brings us up. When we can do some physical fitness activities, we can reach out to the youth. I think that makes a huge impact. And science tells us that. And it's really cool to align myself as a medical provider with the Travis Manion Foundation. And that's what we're trying to accomplish. We have a local chapter here in Charleston that's trying to parlay the once-a-year event into things that we do on a monthly and ongoing basis. So super exciting.
So for people who are getting inspired by what you have to say, they want to be involved in the 9/11 Heroes Run, but maybe they don't want to go 3.1 miles. They don't want to do the 5K. They don't want to run or walk it. You have opportunities for folks to come out and volunteer and help at the event.
Absolutely. So there's obviously multiple ways to get involved. The big 3, number 1, join us as a run, walk, or ruck. But maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you got other things going on. Totally understand that. We do need volunteers. We need some cheerleaders, some pom-poms out there. If you've been to the race before, that's one of the biggest things, is people cheering you on the sidelines, the American flags. Super excited to be partnering again with some local groups, the Daniel Island Exchange Club. They have over 100 American flags that are going to be carried and held, to line the streets. The fire department's going to put up the huge American flag. It's going to be a great opportunity. So we could use course volunteers. So Saturday morning, need you to show up at about 7. We'll put you in place. Need you for about an hour during the race. And then thank you very much for that. The other thing is, again, this is our fundraiser, right? We're certainly doing this race because we want to be together as a community, but it is a fundraiser. So we're looking for sponsors, financial sponsors. If you just want to honor somebody and make a donation to the Travis Manion Foundation in honor of somebody for this event, that would be beautiful. If your business wants to be with the over 1,000 runners that are going to be there and with a booth or sponsor something, we'd love to do that again to help us with the programs. We're looking to partner with some folks for our next event, which is, as I said, through the Legacy Project with the local chapter, working with the Fisher House and the Lowcountry Veterans Home, trying to decorate those houses for Christmas. So we could use help and support in all those things.
We're talking with Daniel Caskie, is the new director of the 9/11 Heroes Run, coming up on September 17th here in the Lowcountry. It'll be happening on Daniel Island. I'm Brian Cleary, and on Lowcountry Forever, we're talking about the 9/11 Heroes Run. Now, Daniel, you're a new director, and word is that for folks who are coming out this year, there'll be a new course as well.
So in order to kind of get things going in a short amount of time, we looked at a few things and used some opportunities to kind of reassess what took a lot of resources, time, and effort. But ultimately, City of Charleston, permits, communities, there's 27 different condo associations on River Landing Drive alone as it goes over the road. Beautiful area. I don't blame them from trying to live there, but it's a little difficult if we need to close the road to thousands of residents and fire access. And so we've changed it up a little bit. Now, if you've been around a while, I know you have, you'll remember the old Susan G. Coleman events that were out there on Daniel Island.
Yes.
So we're using a similar course to that. We're going to leave the fire station, still starting and ending at the fire station. Super proud to be working with those folks. We're going to have that huge American flag arched over the roadway. You're going to head down 7 farms and hang a left on Daniel Island at the traffic circle. Then you're going to keep going. In the past, you would kind of make a U-turn and come back, but you're going to keep going down Daniel Island Drive, around Smythe Park, and then come back up Pierce, come back up Barfield, back to Daniel Island, and then you'll be back at the circle and dash to the finish lines. We call it a keyhole course. It's out, loop, back. A little simpler in some ways, a little more complicated, but different. I think the park's beautiful. It's a great run. I've done it I've been about 10 times myself already, just feeling it out.
It's going to be an amazing event. Now, the thing that we need to get everybody in touch with is, in fact, where they can go for information to register, or if they want volunteer, and I would assume that would all be done online.
Certainly have our Facebook presence, but the easiest way to find us is 911heroesrun.org/Charleston. You can Google us, 9/11 Heroes Run Charleston. The easiest website, that's our landing page, 911heroesrun.org/Charleston. That'll take you to the page where you can sign up to run, answer some questions, volunteer, sponsor. Our race map, if you want to look at that, it's on our Facebook page. It's also on the registration link once you get in there.
And we've got a link set up to that website on each of the different Charleston Radio Group stations you might be listening to. Just go to that station's website and click on event. And Daniel, we know that the registration money, it's going to help the Travis Manion Foundation, so you're doing a good thing, helping an amazing cause.
Hey, man, thank you very much. One thing I want to say is I came into this about June 15th, and fortunately, the path has been paved with success by this amazing community. Charleston responds in such a different way to things like this, and so it's beautiful to be part of this. I picked up the phone and said, hey, I'm the new guy. Can you help? And they said, yeah, we love it. I've got people emailing me to say, hey, I didn't get my sponsorship form yet and I'm in. Or, hey, we want to volunteer. We volunteer, because I didn't called everybody I knew to call. And fortunate to have a team of 8 strong board of directors from the previous years that have helped me and notes and things like that, and support from the main. But I mean, this community, man, it's been awesome. I may be running the show and signing some checks, but at the end of the day, this is really run by a community of people that want this race to happen. And they made it happen on several levels. From the City of Charleston's office, Katie Ernst and the mayor's office, helping us get our permit in a timely manner, I'll say that. Property Owners Association, Daniel Island. And it's a joy to pick the phone up and say, hey, can you help our event? And people are saying yes all day long. So thank you, Charleston. We'll see you out there. Excited about it.
We're excited about it. At the Charleston Radio Group, we're excited about it as well. But most importantly, if you're listening, hopefully you're excited about the event Saturday, September 17th on Daniel Island. It's the annual 9/11 Heroes Run to benefit the Travis Manion Foundation. We remember and should never forget. Honor those that were serving in 9/11 and those that have served our great nation since. The 9/11 Heroes Run coming up Saturday, September 17th. Daniel Caskie, the executive director of this year's run, and our guest today on Lowcountry Forever.
The Charleston Radio Group is the Lowcountry. Every week, we highlight local organizations and events that are helping to make a difference here where we live. If you have a group, event, or an idea to feature on Lowcountry Forever, let us know. Visit lowcountryforever.com and click on our podcast link for contact information. Now, Lowcountry Forever continues.
The saying is that you can choose your friends, you can't choose family, and neighbors kind of fall into the cracks there because sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. We are talking neighbors today on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary, joined by the Executive Director of Neighbors Together. Kara Stewart joins us. Kara, for someone who may not be familiar with Neighbors Together, explain what the organization is all about.
We are an organization that serves people who are in crisis. So when folks fall down on their luck with their monthly budget, with a job loss, with some kind of exorbitant hospital bill, we step in to try to help. We provide those emergency services such as groceries and clothing and hygiene needs, but we also go beyond that. So we have worked to expand our services to include a health clinic, to provide job training and GED classes, and also try to address folks who are on the edge of homelessness and how we can be engaged in the community to prevent that from happening.
Now, we have a lot of new people moving into the Lowcountry area, so they may not be familiar with your organization, but I think there's some people who have lived here for a long time that don't know. You guys have been around for quite a while.
We have. We're celebrating our 39th birthday soon, and we're so thrilled to have come through the decade of the 80s, which was a great decade to be a part of, but we've been around a long time, and we have evolved through those years to continue to respond to the needs of the community.
And it has to be a challenge, although perhaps getting better, but with COVID and all that's been going on with that, I have to think there was additional challenges for Neighbors Together as so many other nonprofits face. How were you able to deal with that?
Absolutely. COVID threw us for a loop. We actually shut down for 2 weeks at the beginning of the pandemic to just re-engineer how we helped people in need. We used to serve 4 days a week a meal in our dining room, which we could no longer do. And so we figured out how to put that meal in to-go boxes, just as restaurants did. And so we had a drive-through distribution line for many, many months through the pandemic where folks could get a meal, they could get groceries, they could get those hygiene items that they couldn't afford because they were out of work. And we actually participated in a special program to help out-of-work food and beverage employees get special produce from area farmers who were also struggling because there was nobody buying their produce. So we were in it right from the start.
As far as where you are now, can we say we're quote unquote back to normal, or are there still some elements that haven't really gotten there?
You know, we are almost back to quote unquote normal with our services that we provide. We finally came back to in-person dining this summer.
Okay.
And we are still trying to keep people safe, knowing that we serve a vulnerable population. Many elderly folks still come through here. And so we have our tables separated, but it looks very much like a restaurant these days. And we're back indoors for meals and for meeting with our case managers. It's such an essential part of our program that we have folks who can walk with people through a long period of transformation in their lives.
It was such a big part of everyone's lives over the last 2 years. So can we look back? Is there anything that came out of COVID-19 that your organization was actually able to go, well, at least we learned this and here was one positive? Is there anything you can point to?
Well, what's interesting, Brian, is that our name change came out of the pandemic. We used to be called Tri-County Ministries. And during those early days, we saw folks coming together in such powerful ways to help their neighbors. And there was such an understanding that any one of us could be someone in need, that we were all living right there on the edge together of wondering what's coming next. And so as we experienced that with our volunteers, with the folks who were coming to ask for a little bit of help, we realized that our identity is really rooted in being the place where neighbors can come together to help one another. It was pretty powerful.
And we do live in the South where we're more friendly, we're more open, so Neighbors Together should really work even better here in the Lowcountry, right?
I think so. I think we are, absolutely. We are trained up to be porch people. You know, we see each other on front porches and we throw up a hand to wave and catch up with our neighbors. So yeah, we hope that it's an essential part of the Lowcountry culture.
We are talking about our neighbors and maybe how you can help your neighbors. Neighbors Together is a nonprofit organization here in the Lowcountry. Kara Stewart is their executive director, and she's joining me, Brian Cleary, today on Lowcountry Forever. So let's talk about a step that people can take to help you out, and that's by being a part of your upcoming birthday bash. When is that going to be?
So Thursday, September 15th is our birthday bash food truck roundup. We're going to hold it at Firefly Distillery, and it's going to be a great night of gathering together to learn more about our organization, but also just to enjoy some great food and to hear some great live music.
The Lowcountry food two words that really go together. We all love our food trucks. So this is going to be an evening of getting together, eating, and then enjoying live entertainment.
Absolutely. We'll have an opportunity for a raffle that night. We'll have an opportunity to buy some T-shirts. We'll have an opportunity to hear stories of folks that we have served, some success stories, some stories of transformation. If you want to be inspired by your neighbors, this will be an event to come to.
So this will be at Firefly Distillery on September the 15th. If I want to come out, what do I need to do in terms of getting tickets?
You can go to our website or go to the City Paper's website. They're hosting our ticket sales, and they would love to have you get those tickets right off their website. But you can go to our website, which is www.neighborstogethersc.org.
And all the proceeds will then go back to the organization so that you guys can do more helping here in the Lowcountry.
That's it. We're expanding programs every day. We look forward to your support.
Is it possible for you, because just going on your website, I'm amazed at the number of things you do. And I don't mean this in a negative or positive way towards another organization, but if you go to the Lowcountry Food Bank, they're providing food. This organization provides that. You guys have so many different arms coming out. Can you run through what some of those are?
We do have 4 service areas that we focus on and that we have set as priorities because they're so essential to helping people move forward in their lives. The first is hunger. We've always been an organization that has provided a hot meal. That's how we got started in 1983.
Okay.
By providing soup and sandwiches. That was back in the day. That was what we did. But beyond that, we try to work to assess people's nutritional needs now. We are really ramping up the ways that we can help people who have diabetes or high blood pressure find the foods that will support their nutritional needs so that they can take care of their body and use food as medicine. Additionally, we are working to expand the ways we can help people who are struggling with health and wellness. So we do have a clinic here where you can come and talk with nurses who can assess your prescriptions and help you find inexpensive ways to get those filled, or we can also take care of that for you. We have nutritional classes where people learn to prepare fresh vegetables and how to use good fruits to take care of their health needs. And we're also always looking to partner. We've got lots of great partnerships with other healthcare providers in the area so that we can provide those services here in this neighborhood where there is so much need. So that's hunger and health and wellness. We also are focused on economic mobility. That's our third wave. And we really want to help empower people to use the gifts and talents they have to make a living and to earn what their family needs so that they can be self-sufficient. That's the goal. And so we, again, have lots of partnerships to bring classes here to our facility so that folks can get their GED, which is essential, so that folks can set a goal for a new career they'd like to move into and get job training specifically for that career. And we also are working to launch a new small business academy so that we can provide the tools for those who might have a great side hustle but want to help it grow so that they can really build up their business and, again, support their family, but also contribute to the diversity and wealth of our community as a whole.
Now, Kara, when you say here, does that mean, hey, we help people in Charleston, or where would here be for someone who's listening?
Great question. So our location is in the southern part of North Charleston. We're here on the corner of Cosgrove and Rivers, and we do service a lot of folks who are in need in this neighborhood. But we see folks come to us from Summerville, from Hanahan, from James Island, Johns Island. Folks come to us from throughout the Tri-County area, and we're happy to help whoever they are, wherever they're coming from.
If I know someone who's in need, or perhaps I myself needs a little assistance, what's the step that I need to take to get in touch with Neighbors Together?
Well, you can certainly come during the week. Just show up and talk with our case managers and get an assessment. We're open from Monday through Thursday, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock with our case management program. But you can certainly reach out to us on the phone or via email. The email address is on our website, and you can see the array of services we provide and maybe match up your needs with something you see that we offer. But we're always happy to help. That initial assessment is very important because you can kind of take a look at what your resources actually are and then where the lack is and how we can work together to meet that need for you.
Today on Lowcountry Forever, we're talking with Kara Stewart. She's the Executive Director of Neighbors Together. And this is Brian Cleary. Now, Kara, you help other people, but part of being a good neighbor, it's a two-way street. So I'm listening today. What is it that I could do to help Neighbors Together?
Well, there are lots of ways that people can get involved and support the work that we're doing. The first is financial support. We are always looking out for the next program and where we need to grow our services, and we can't do that without great staff and great finances to make those programs happen. But the second way is to donate items that you have in your house. If you have food, when you go to the grocery store, pick up a couple extra cans of peanut butter, of jars of peanut butter for us. That's always a popular item. So we accept donations of food, groceries, non-perishables. We accept donations of books for children. And we have targeted donations throughout the year when we have our back to school festival in August, when we have our Christmas festival in December. Thanksgiving, we have a special event as well. So keeping up with us on our website to see what the latest event, community block party, or just giveaway event that we'll have is an important way that you can connect with us.
And when you talk about food, you mentioned peanut butter, and you're not joking about that because obviously you want to take food donations, but you're also looking where possible to get healthy foods.
Absolutely. We have a list of specific foods that will meet people's needs, again, with low sodium for our folks with blood pressure issues, or the sugar-free items for people with diabetes. We want to be really looking out for foods that are full of nutrition and good for people's health.
Talk about the community itself. Are there businesses, organizations, other organizations that are supporting you? Where does your help come from when you need it?
Absolutely. You know, we have just really received such a wealth of support from area businesses throughout the Tri-County area. They really partner with us. They'll send groups from workplaces to come and volunteer with us. Volunteering is a great way for people to support what we do, whether it's coming with your office together for a work day or coming with your family, perhaps on a weekend for our special events. We've really received so much support from all kinds of different organizations. We are an interfaith group, so we have churches and synagogues that come together to support the work that we're doing. And we have so many school groups. They'll hold food drives for us. Boy Scout troops are a great source of connection for us and support. So they'll hold a food drive and come in with just pounds and pounds of non-perishable food. So it's been wonderful to see the partnerships we've created.
And if there is a business, a community organization that maybe wants to partner up with you, best thing for them is to go to the website?
They can absolutely come to the website, and you can email me there, and we can talk with you about what would fit your corporation, your business, and what your goals are, because there's lots of different ways to get involved.
And Neighbors Together, what is your goal as an organization? What are you hoping to accomplish?
You know, our vision is dignity and hope for our community. We believe that everyone deserves to have the dignity of supporting themselves and having the resources available to move forward with their families. But we also want to provide that hope that working together, we can find solutions. It really is about getting to know our neighbors and really hearing their stories of struggle, celebrating with them when they have success, but really understanding what happens to families who are in need, who fall into poverty, who struggle with paying bills. We need to understand and hear those stories before we can truly act with selflessness to make those problems disappear.
Carrie, you guys are helping families in so many different ways across the Lowcountry. What's something that you're working on right now, something new, something exciting that will help this community of ours?
Well, one of the exciting initiatives is our initiative for women's homelessness.
Okay.
We see a lot of families that are struggling on the edge of eviction, and we have a goal to provide transitional housing for women and children at our facility here on Cosgrove and Rivers. And we're very excited to be building support for that initiative and to be growing our partnerships so that we can provide more creative solutions for those who think their only option is living in their car. It's no place for a child to grow up, and it's no place for a single mom to try to raise her children. So we look forward to sharing with you new updates as we build the plans for our women's housing initiative.
And is there anything specific for that initiative that you're looking for that someone who might be listening can go, I can help? What is it that I can do?
We're really looking to partner with landlords as an initial start for this project because we want to be able to have lots of resources and lots of folks who are willing to give women a second chance. If they've had an eviction before, it's harder to find the next house for them.
Okay.
And so we're really looking for landlords who are willing to partner with us and to know that our case managers are working with these families to move forward. We can assure them that the bills will get paid.
And the good thing that's coming up in September, the way I can help Neighbors Together is really just to go out and have myself a good time at Firefly Distillery. One more time, give me the information on the 39th birthday bash.
It will happen at Firefly Distillery on Thursday, September the 15th. We're excited to join with lots of food trucks and provide live entertainment. A great night to come out and support your neighbors at Neighbors Together Birthday Bash.
And people can get tickets and information from your website. Kara, that website address again is?
www.neighborstogethersc.org or the City Paper website.
And we've got a link set up where you can get information and also purchase your tickets to the September 15th event. Just go to the website of the Charleston Radio Group radio station you're listening to and click on the Events tab. She is Kara Stewart, the Executive Director of Neighbors Together, and our guest today on Lowcountry Forever.
Thanks for listening to Lowcountry Forever. If you missed any of this week's show, there's a complete recording under the podcast link at lowcountryforever.com. Lowcountry Forever is a public affairs presentation of the Charleston Radio Group.